If you were going to make a lamb biryani from scratch the traditional way, it would take a lot of time and a lot of processes. But I'm going to show you a bit of a cheats version and the results are fantastic. So use a heavy base saute pan just like this one. You also want it to be able to go into the oven. So we're going to turn the heat on. We want it to be on a medium to high heat. I'll add some vegetable oil and we want to fry off 1 onion. Now I've just sliced my onion. We don't need too much colour on the onion, but we do want to get it soft. So we'll just give that a mix and we'll start frying that off. A pinch of salt and a good amount of ginger. You could add garlic to this if you like, but my curry paste has lots of garlic in it, so I'm just choosing to use some ginger. And just give that a stir and just allow it to soften and colour slightly. That is looking good. Now for the curry paste, there are many different curry pastes you can use. You can even make your own, but like I said, I'm cheating a little and I've got a good quality store-bought Vindaloo curry paste. You could also use Madras, Rogan Josh, whatever you like. So we need about a tablespoon of this curry paste to go in. And just like any curry paste, you want to fry it off and allow those flavours to come out of the curry paste. That smells fantastic. And as you can see, it's starting to split slightly. That's what we're after. When the oil splits away from all the other ingredients, we can add the meat. So I'm using some lamb shoulder. You want to use something that has some great interconnective tissue, a little bit of fat, because you want to slow cook this. So anything too lean won't work. Lamb neck is another great alternative. So we'll pop that into our curry paste. And we're not sealing or frying it off at this stage. It's just going to cook nice and gently in our liquid in a moment. Okay. And now for some tomatoes. I'm going to use some good quality Australian tomatoes. These are crushed tomatoes. I've actually been out to Goulburn Valley where the tomatoes are not only picked but canned within 24 hours. So you know you're getting a beautiful fresh product. So I'm just going to stir that in. And just for some extra liquid, some stock. I'm using chicken stock. We want about ½ a cup. We don't want this to be too liquidy. We want this to gently cook and almost form a thick gravy. 1 more pinch of salt. And I'll pop the lid on. Turn this down to a low temperature and this is going to cook for about 1.5 hours until the meat is really, really tender. In that time, we can get our rice prepared. So this is just basmati rice. I've washed it 3 times because I don't want it to be too starchy when I add it to our meat mixture. I've got some boiling water and we're going to par cook this. So we'll add the rice just to some seasoned water. And this will come back up to the boil and I want to cook this for about 4 minutes just to take away the rawness, then I'll strain it. The meat is tender and the sauce has thickened into a gravy. It smells so good. And just for a few final touches, a few tablespoons of the coconut milk. I like the coconut milk because it just gives it a really nice richness. You could also use some yogurt. And I love the addition of some spinach. In fact, this is frozen spinach. I don't mind frozen spinach, always good to have on standby. I've just defrosted it and squeezed as much of the liquid out as possible. You could substitute this for fresh spinach, of course you could. Or peas are a great addition too. So we'll just incorporate that. I'm going to turn the heat off now. And to give it that biryani feel, we can add our par-cooked rice. So just gently use your spoon to spread it out quite evenly over the top. The reason you want to par-boil this is because it's now going to go into the oven for about ½ an hour to finish cooking the rice, but also to allow the rice to almost sink into that curry. All right, that's looking quite good. For some extra flavours, and I love the look of this, just 1 fresh bay leaf over the top and 2 cardamom pods that I'll just break up to release their flavour. Already I can smell it just by breaking them. You can see their little seeds are exposed. Just sprinkle that in there. Perfect. The lid can now go on. This cooks in the oven for about 30 minutes at 180 degrees. Okay, the lamb biryani has come out of the oven and the smell. Oh, you can smell the cardamom, you can smell the bay leaf. This is such a delicious dish for entertaining or when you want to feed quite a lot of people. This size dish will feed at least 6 people. Now to finish off the garnishes, I like to use some mango chutney and I just want to dollop it on top, just so it warms up slightly. And you can of course add some extra chutney on the side. And for some crunch, some crispy fried shallots, and we'll just sprinkle them over the top too. Such a pretty dish, but I really want to try this and I want to show you how saucy it is inside. We'll take a big spoonful of that onto a plate. And you can see how that rice has absorbed that gravy. That's exactly how it should be. And for me, because I love the sweetness of this mango chutney, another dollop on top, extra fried shallots, and I think I should get myself a fork and have a taste of this. See this lamb? Look how soft it is. It's just falling apart. That's what we're after. I love that you get all those flavours in one mouthful. The sweetness from the chutney, the curry paste, beautiful meat and fluffy rice. The best thing about this is we've cut the time in half. Forget about the traditional biryani. It's all about cheating. Why not? We're allowed to cheat sometimes.